In the opening scene of the movie, The Equalizer 2, if you are keen, you will see Denzel Washington's character read this book in that train rattling towards Istanbul, Turkey. Later in the film, while assisting a young black man become more educated, Denzel Washington's character gives the young man a copy of this book to read. Mike Colter's character in the Netflix series Luke Cage is also seen reading this book. These subtle placements are what made me look for this book. I hate to be one of those guys who say that this is a book that every black person should read. So I won't. But you should. Reading it, this book reminded me of a painting entitled Truth Coming Out of Our Well to Shame Mankind. I love the painting, the title, and I think that's how truth can appear to some people. Scary, but perhaps appealing as well. On a similar note, I love reading honest, truthful accounts about people's lives, especially black writers, who give their unique perspectives about what it means to be black. And this is what this book is about. It is a deeply illuminating, honest look at the realities of being black in America, written as a letter to the author's teenage son. It doesn't insult by offering a solution to the problems, but aims only to make the reader acknowledge the deeply internalized, institutionalized racism, hate, and fear that built America. This is less of a book review and more of a response to what emotions and thoughts the book brought out in me, so it might sound a bit disjointed. The human experience is a spectrum based upon skin color. The lighter the pigmentation of your skin, the more advantages this world seems to have for you. At one end of the spectrum is white, while on the other is black. The law of geography dictated a distinct distance between people having these outward traits. Merely an adapted trait, the color of a person's skin is designed to be advantageous to the elements within the native environment of his ancestors. The very same place, nature expects him to grow and reside. But nature did not account for one thing: greed. It was greed that moved people with white skin to extract those with black out of their home environment, their intrinsic motherland, and put them in captivity and bound them in chains, across an ocean to a region that had also been pillaged from their natural inhabitants. Then came the systematic degradation of a collection of people sharing this one trait, 250 years of torture and inhumane treatment until they lost all their culture, their lineage, and identity. Ta-Nehisi Coates is a black man. More than that, he is a black father, fearful for the well-being of his son in a country that has time and time again proven that those born with black skin are still bound by unseen chains. This book is a byproduct of this fear that has seized him since he was a child, walking down his neighborhood. This fear that has been ingrained in the identity of all those who have inherited black skin in that land. It is both a very personal message and an encompassing testament to the suffering of a people who have known no peace because of their outward coloration. To quote the book, we were black, beyond the visible spectrum, beyond civilization. Our history was inferior because we were inferior, which is to say, our bodies were inferior, and our inferior bodies could not possibly be accorded the same respect as those that built the West. When I read the story of Coates' friend who was shot and killed by police, I found his reminiscences of his friend very moving, and adding more depth to what it means for a black person to be killed for no reason but the color of their skin. To quote the book, think of all the love poured into him, and think of how that vessel was taken, shattered on the concrete, and all the holy contents, all that had gone to him, sent flying back to the earth. This is such a beautifully written book. I love that the author was able to write with such clarity that enabled the reader to really be put in a black person's shoes, to understand their culture, and to comprehend that the root cause of all of it is fear. Crippling fear, where your guard is up 24/7, because you know that as soon as you step out into that world, you have a target set and ready on your back. And Coates lets the reader view this fear through his eyes, his upbringing, and experiences and understanding of the world. It's not all doom and gloom though. There is hope. There has to be. And he shares beautiful moments in his life where barriers within himself are broken and clarity poured in, that the world is much more than America and the toxic narrative they put forth, and the simple wonders of life that you take for granted. I know this is a book that I'll casually flick through every now and again. I've filled it with my thoughts, which I'll probably have to add as my perspective of this world changes and my own understanding grows. It left me feeling invigorated, and my mind is more curious, hungry, and eager to find out more. I could really go on and on about this book because there's so much to say. What I can say is that you should read it. Read it to know.